where this all ends is me holding 5 ice cream cones and playing Mario Kart GP. And you can't argue with that. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Well, speaking of flavor taste.
Oh, that's my favorite kind of flavor.
Right?
Yeah.
Delicious flavor taste.
And my favorite kind of taste.
I have a question for you, Anthony Carboni.
I would love to answer it
I do not know about you. We have, over the lifetime of this show, we've talked about favorite sweets. It's one of our favorite topics, talking about delicious yum-yums that are going our tum-tums.
Listen, when you're two guys that are as boring as we are, you take the excitement where you can, and where we can is sugar. I never in my life did I imagine I would grow up to be this straight-laced of a boring dude. And here I am. And I'm very happy being this boring dude, but I do show loves me my sugar.
Loves you your sugar. Same with me. It is a delight that I am unable to resist. But let me ask you this question. This is something I do not know about you. Do you, Anthony Carboni, like sour stuff? Sour Patch Kids, for example. Are you into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat a Sour Patch Kid. It depends on how sour.
You're not into like what's the one that is like, it'll make your face pucker, it'll destroy you, like
nuclear warheads or atomic warheads.
Yeah.
I used to be very into them when I was a youth. I can't imagine eating a whole one voluntarily these days, an atomic warhead. But I love a bag of Sour Patch Kids. If you set that in front of me, that's gone. I'll do a sour beer every once in a while, but not in like it's not the thing I always order. You know those guys?
It's not your go-to, but you'll enjoy it.
I'll have a sour beer every once in a while if somebody's like, "Oh, they have a really good sour beer here." I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right."
See, I'm not a Sour Patch Kids guy.
No.
I would never choose I will take almost any other candy over that. If it's the only thing with any sugar in it, I'll probably eat it. But that's because I'm addicted to sugar. But I'm not into the sour stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a story sent to us by, I hate to even mention it, but old cahoots himself, Jeff Engelstein.
Can I tell you, Jeff Engelstein, old cahoots? We did a bit a couple weeks ago where I was like, "How come you're getting all the grift? You're running the grift and you're getting all the payola?"
Uh-huh.
And I was doing it as a bit, and Cahoots messaged me on Discord, and he was like, "Hey, I'll send you a game if you want me." Like, I'm sorry, I'll send you.
Offered you that payola?
I was like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to actually guilt Cahoots."
See what a decent guy he is.
See that? I mean, look, it's still, listen, even the nicest of people can get caught up in a life of crime. All it takes is one bad day. Haven't you ever read The Killing Joke?
Of course. Anyway, this is a story. This is from The Atlantic, and it is all about sour. You know that we have 5 categories of taste.
Yes.
Sweet, salty, bitter, savory, what some people call umami, and sour. Those are the 5 big categories of taste.
The 5 families.
Yes. They will destroy you in each in a different way.
Yeah. You must talk to the boss of each of the 5 families if you want the most delicious of treats.
I see you've come to me to discuss salty. On this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
Hey, can I tell you?
I got to do a different voice.
Hey, can I tell you something? If you ever want to make, like a white guy in his 40s or up happy, just give him an excuse to do a Godfather voice. Honestly, just give him an opening. Just give him an opening to do a Godfather voice. He'll be happy for hours. He'll laugh that he got to do a Brando. That'll be like a thing for him. It is such a small little thing. Didn't it just make you feel great?
I mean, it did until I lost the voice somehow. Somehow it morphed into something
harping
hideous.
on that. You're the only one who cares. Didn't you have such a good time?
It was.
And you'll be thinking about it later today. You might even try to do a Brando again later today because it's in your head.
I swallowed the bug. That's my favorite line from that. From the outtakes. That's not from Godfather. Obviously, it's from.
That's a little, but that's
anyway.
just a little tip to anybody listening.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. So we know evolutionarily why we have categories of taste for the most part. We know that sweet and sugary things creatures crave because it gives us caloric intake. We need calories. We need that sugar. We need to seek it out. And so our body makes it taste really, really great so that we seek it out. We know that we want that umami, that savory taste to give us proteins, because the proteins that are savory, they are delicious. They keep us alive. So our body craves those flavors.
Right.
Salt is essential for bodies to stay in fluid balance and for nerve cells to signal. So we want that saltiness.
Now, of course, modern food takes huge advantage of that by faking those tastes and those flavors, either chemically or through an abundance of sugar and salt, giving our bodies too much of a thing that we're supposed to.
Right. Of course. But this is like in nature, humans and other creatures have these sensations in order to fill out their diets. So you're incentivized to fill out your diets in ways that are beneficial. And then on the other side of the coin, bitterness is a flavor that actually you sense things that are bitter because usually those things are poisonous or, you want to stay away from the bitter taste. It is unpleasant because that's the rancid kind of the flavor to not eat. It disincentivizes creatures, including humans, from eating stuff that is, rancid. But that brings us to sour. And scientists literally have no friggin' clue as to why we even have the sensation of sour. And that's the central idea in this article that I find fascinating. They call it the paradox of sour. No one knows why we even have a sensation of sourness. And get this, Anthony, get this. We have not found a single vertebrate, a backboned species, that has lost the ability to identify sour, acidic foods.
So the theory here is that evolutionarily,
it's needed for something. It's necessary. Every creature. So check this out. So there are lots of creatures. Cats are one, hyenas, otters, lots of other carnivores that no longer sense a sugary, sweet taste. They've lost that ability. They evolved out of.
Heartbreaking.
Isn't that sad? That's why cats, they don't care about sugar.
That is
give them a catnip is what they want.
That's awful.
I know.
That's awful. What have we done? What have we done by domesticating?
We did it.
We domesticated them and we destroyed it in them.
I don't think that we did that.
We probably did.
We just withheld sugar?
I don't think we withheld it. We just
explain otters and hyenas then. They also can't.
We did it. We domesticated the hyena.
It's all of those house otters that everyone has. That ruined sugar tastes. It's the house otter.
Yo. From your mouth to God's ears. That sounds like one of those animals that I want to have as a pet that I really shouldn't have. Like it would be detrimental to the animal. But what if you had a big enough backyard?
To have an otter?
Yeah.
Would you teach it to balance a ball in its nose? Because I feel like that's like key otter.
Oh, for sure. And a little clown hat? Yeah. Listen. Absolutely. One time I looked up what it takes to have a fennec fox as a pet. Turns out they don't want to be your pet.
No.
You have to have acres of land and you have to make fences so high. And then not only do the fences have to be high, they have to go deep into the ground because they'll burrow. They don't want to love you.
No. And I feel like building a fence like that is not love, Anthony. I think that's the key understanding you need to get to.
I mean,
that's not love.
Well, then why am I trying to keep them in so much if I didn't love them? Why am I trying to keep them close to me at all times instead of doing what they want to do if it's not love?
Okay.
Jeffrey.
I mean, certainly perspective.
Okay, so we ruined cats by limiting
otters,
their
hyenas,
ability.
they can't taste sugar anymore. Giant pandas no longer taste that umami savory sensation, that flavor.
Huh.
And dolphins, get this, dolphins, the wise old dolphin.
Yeah.
So long and thanks for all the fish. That dolphin,
Sure.
they can't experience sweetness or savoriness.
Well,
They swallow their food whole. They don't even taste it.
I'd say that that's their punishment for not understanding consent, if I'm honest. Wise old dolphins. If they're so smart, why don't they understand consent, Jeff?
They also don't understand bitter. So dolphins are living a pretty tasteless existence.
Well,
you know
if you swallow all of your food whole, I mean, it would just make sense that you wouldn't, like, over time. Why would you need it? You're wasting it.
Yeah, exactly. But why would you want to keep eating? I guess you have hunger. I guess it's just a hunger sensation that you're satiating.
Wait, people eat strictly out of hunger and not out of a need to feel? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't.
Yeah. It seems weird to me.
I can't relate to that.
No, me neither. Can I posit a theory here, Jeff?
Sure.
I think these animals can still taste sour because it makes for the funniest TikToks.
Well, we know that evolution has selected for TikTok. We know that.
Yeah,
over time,
there's
only one explanation for TikTok.
Yeah, so they can survive. So they can survive as influencers. I just feel like if you think about what's the best animal video to watch, or even a baby video, it's like when you give a baby or an animal a lemon. And they're just like, oh, you're sharing food with me. And it's funny for two reasons. It's funny because of the little face they make because of the sour. And it's funny because you're abusing the trust of a simple creature.
Yeah.
And that's
turned
double
to you looking
funny.
For sustenance, and you gave it a pucker.
Yeah. You're one of the living things that I love and trust the most in life. Thank you for sharing this with me. Fuck you, man. What have you done?
What have you given me? What is wrong with my face?
Yeah. Surely you didn't do this to me. You couldn't have known. You thought you were giving me good food. No, I didn't.
We're in this together.
I knew.
No, I did it on purpose.
I knew.
Oh, that explains why you were recording it on your iPhone. TikTok.
Get wrecked, kid. And or otter.
So I've just outlined a number of animals that have lost sensation, evolved out of having any kind of flavor taste in specific categories. And yet, despite that, all of them sense sour. They all sense sour, Anthony. There must be something special about sour that we need it. Why?
So bitter
knows.
So bitter is poison.
Yeah.
Sweet and salty are fat and protein.
Life.
Yeah. What would sour mean? I mean, could it be another danger marker?
Well, here's the weird part. It's not consistent across species or even intraspecies whether they like sour or not. So, like you dig some Sour Patch Kids.
Sure.
I don't like it. And the same is true in the animal kingdom. Some animals kind of dig sour. Some animals don't. Get that away from me. Give a lemon to a sheep, and the sheep says it tastes bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is up with that? Now, we know that sour is basically a rough proxy for low pH, the presence of acid.
Okay.
The citrus in lemons.
The patch in the kids.
Exactly. The patch in the kids. The acidic in vinegar. We do not need sour to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we do need protein and calories to thrive, but we don't need any of that to live. But there is one theory that says, hey, maybe it's literally to stave off scurvy. We like just because humans about 70 million years ago, or I think that was what it was. Humans basically evolved out of being to synthesize their own vitamin C.
Mm.
So at one point in our evolution, our ancestors about 60 to 70 million years ago lost the ability to synthesize our own vitamin C.
Okay. So
that's
sometime
why we can
around
get
there.
scurvy if you don't have, lemons or oranges or citrus, right?
Right. But we're not pirates.
We're not pirates. And also, there are animals that still can synthesize vitamin C that still have the sour taste. So that kind of doesn't explain it.
Maybe, are we not getting enough vitamin C? Are the commercials?
You're not. Your mom, by the way, asked me to tell you.
Yeah.
You're definitely not.
I keep trying to tell her that you can't take a 500 milligram vitamin C pill or 1,000 milligram vitamin C pill because number one, that's way more vitamin C than you need, and number two, you don't even absorb most of it at once when you take the pill out. And she goes, "Do you know what my mother said to me about that, Jeff?" She said, "Good, then it evens out. Take the pill."
Yeah.
Can you believe
that does sound like
she
her.
fucking knocked me out, dude? She gave me the 1-2 punch. I was like, it's too much vitamin C and you can't absorb it all anyway. And she's like, good, absorb the part that you can. Take the pill. That's why they give you too much.
Also, no back talk.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
No back talk. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So it's not vitamin C. It's not some sort of danger marker. What are some other theories?
Well, the most prevalent theory, the sort of meta theory of all of this, is that it may not be one thing across all species.
Sure.
That it may be a lot of different things that have kept it around in different species.
The
right?
answer may be more subtle and complex.
Right.
That's stupid.
But here are some other...
No, science is a bunch of cowards. Tell me why. Immediately, cowards.
Give me the answer, and then I can move on with my day.
1, 2, 3 now. 1, 2, 3 now.
Well, there's also, sour is caused when foods ferment. You talked about liking sour beer. Fermentation adds that tangy taste that also is a little sugary. And there's some theories that say that that sour mixed with a little sugary sort of indicates, evolutionarily, that there is sort of a beneficial microbe that's happening that actually is beneficial.
No, there's nothing
useful in our digestion.
No, because Sour Patch Kids don't have that.
Sour Patch Kids don't, but if you think about like kimchi or sauerkraut or yogurt even, it may be a marker for fermentation that is sort of like helpful in selecting an overripe fruit that is sort of started to ferment and actually is beneficial for your internal digestion.
I do love the idea of fermented and finely aged Sour Patch Kids. Can we talk about the market for that for a second? Can we discuss the market for a complex adult candy? We're talking about Sour Patch adults.
Yeah.
Okay. These
Sour
are
Patch adults.
Sour Patch adults. These are aged. We could say that they're aged them in whiskey casks. People love that shit. If you age
finely aged candy.
Yeah. If you age one thing in the barrel of another thing that was aged, people love that shit.
They do. Yeah.
They eat that right up. And they will.
I think we could make a fortune on Sour Patch adults.
Think about this. Think about how silly the packaging to Sour Patch Kids is, right? And it's got like the, fun, bright colors and like the weird kid with like the crossed eyes. He's like, oh, it's so sour.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, age it up. We age it up. We mature it. We make it classy. And make it classy.
Think about a package of Andes mints.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The Andes chocolate mints that they give you at a fine steakhouse or
Or like Burt's Bees, the lip balm, right? It's like it's not chapstick, right? It's like a more refined kind of.
We're talking about a serif font. We're talking about a subtle color scheme.
A gentleman's candy.
It's a gentleman's candy. It's a Sour Patch Adult. This is something. It's an aperitif. It's an after dinner candy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a candy for after 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm. You serve it with a nice port.
You can put it in a martini glass like Nick Cage did with his jelly beans in Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
That's a classy candy.
Instead of being in the shape of, ridiculous little kids, it's in the shape of well-dressed adults.
Or stocks.
Stock? It's the shape of a stock.
Yeah, it's in the shape of a stock or a deed.
Amazing. Sour Patch Adults.
Sour Patch Adults, hit me up.
You've actually hit on something that's in this article, which is...
Did we not come up with Sour Patch Adults? Did they come up with that
that's
first?
Ours. That's copyright, trademark.
Okay.
We have concerns.
I'm going to mail that idea to myself.
Yeah, you can't steal it, listeners. We already own it. There is a portion of this article, though, that goes into how there is an actually a surprisingly large variation in sour preference based on age. Like, it is true that little kids tend to prefer sour more than adults do.
Yeah. Kids go for stronger tastes, right? And the theory behind that has always been like, the reason why kids love sugar and love salt so much more than like an adult does. Like, a kid can eat a candy where if you and I tried to eat it, we'd be like, oof, I can feel the sugar in that in my teeth. You know what I mean?
Right.
But kids love that because they're looking for those scant nutrients even more than we are, because they need to grow 18 times their size in a period of years. So
I also think, as a person who has two small kids, I've also observed that kids just want stimulation on a certain level. Like, my two kids will just spin around in a circle until they collapse and cannot spin around anymore. Right? I spin around one time, I feel nauseated. I want to sit down and rest. I don't want to feel dizzy.
No.
It is the most unpleasant sensation I can imagine. My kids are like, dizzy, let's spin me around again. So, I think the kids on a certain level just want, like, just give me sensation that I've never had before.
Well, I found out, I read recently that, like, if my dog is laying on the bed or on the couch and it's like hanging its head off, you know how dogs will like hang their head off of things when they lay down? They're apparently letting the blood rush to their head because they're bored. Like,
it's like that thing you did on the playground where a kid would like just press your chest and try to make you pass out.
Yeah, or you just like huff and puff until you fell over. Like, I have Jeff, I literally have a chip in my front tooth from doing that as a kid.
Just collapsing and landing on your face.
I was just trying to ride the dragon my whole life. Yeah. But like, I think there is it's a mix, right? Like, kids just want stimulation and feeling any way possible, because everything is just like new and exciting and cool. And also, like, they gotta have that protein to grow. They gotta eat you out of house and home to grow. So they're looking for that. But like, the sour thing, if sour legitimately has no purpose that we can find, it is interesting that kids want sour more, because that would say to me that there's something that kids need more than we do that requires them to hunt down sour.
Right.
What is it? What do you need?
We don't know. Maybe kids are highly prone to scurvy. I don't know.
Oh man, I've seen a kid's hair and teeth fall right out. Certainly the teeth.
That's why we don't let kids serve on pirate ships anymore.
No.
My understanding.
It's illegal to Shanghai a child now. But only a child.
Only a child.
You can have a trap door at any bar you want in the city, as long as it's not a bar for children.
That was the seminal court case, People v.
No, you got it.
Jack Sparrow.
People be Jack Sparrow. There it is.
It took me a second.
Did people get shanghaied in the? It's been so long since I've watched a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Don't revisit them. It's not worth it. Another.
Well, this is a debt-free home now, so
Yeah, you don't want debt. You don't want debt. Another interesting tidbit in this article is that fish, who also seem to have a sensitivity to acidic, right? They have taste buds in their mouth, but also have taste buds that are freckled all over their bodies. So basically, a fish is a big swimming tongue.
Oh, I hate that. And I hate that for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for them it's every day and they probably don't see it as a negative, but I got to tell you, not being able to taste everything I touch is such a boon that I don't think about.
Oh, yeah. You don't realize how fortunate you are not to taste everything you're just casually moving past.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And I mean, listen, for the last 2 years, I've mostly been in my own house, which is still like, I don't want to do that. But like, God, being out in the world and tasting every single thing you touch. Ugh. Yeah. Worst power. Yeah. Sorry, fish.
Well, evidently some of those receptors on the outside of their bodies can sense that acidicness. So basically they can sense sour in the environment around them. And there is some theory that they need that. They can sense the water that they're swimming in being rich or poor in carbon dioxide.
Oh,
and that helps.
Like a dad with a little test kit at the pool.
Exactly.
Just constantly looking at the pH of the water.
Exactly. That's what a fish is. A fish is just like a little tongue swimming around.
Just a bunch of little dads being like, gotta add a couple more chlorine. Nope, nobody swims today.
Exactly.
What are you doing, Dad?
So, if we evolved from things that swam in the ocean, right? If we all, think about that evolution drawing of
which
things
I'm sure
crawling out of the ocean.
Which some of us did.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us.
Yeah. Some of us.
I'm not going to say all of us because I don't know. Maybe some of us evolved from something cooler. I don't know.
So maybe that sort of just persisted. But again, there has to be a reason, or one assumes there would be a reason that it is ubiquitous in nature. And my favorite part of this article is that they go into how difficult it is to do taste tests on non-human species.
Yeah, because how do you know?
How do you know?
Like,
you can't ask them if they like the taste of that.
Look,
there's no.
If it's a TikTok and it's like a dog and a dog licks a lemon, it immediately goes, but that's a dog.
Right.
What do you do for a fish?
There's no.
And how do you rub a lemon on a fish without just getting hungry?
Exactly. Yeah.
A little rosemary on that fish.
Ah, so good.
You're done with the experiment, baby. It's mealtime. Here's an experiment. How delicious are you?
Very delicious, it turns out. Always. The problem is, when you do taste tests and you're the one who's getting hungry, never do a taste test on an animal when you're hungry. That's the lesson.
It's like you should always eat before you go to the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
If you're a scientist and you need to rub a lemon on a fish, do not do it on an empty stomach.
No, it's bad. It's bad. And do not write your thesis on the interaction between butter and lobsters.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna eat all the results. There's gonna be no data.
Oh yeah. That's why there's literally no studies on nougat.
That's right.
Because they've never gotten to the write-up phase.
No. Can you just buy nougat?
I think you can. I think you can buy.
What
nougat.
if I just wanted to get like a tub of nougat?
I think you can get a tub of nougat.
I
think
wild.
You can just order nougat.
I should not be allowed to do that. So they're trying. So they can't accurately gauge. Like they can't give a fish a card from 1 to 10 and be like, how sour is this? How strong is this taste?
No, what they do is they usually have 2 types of water. They have plain water
and sparkling, but it's an upsell.
Yeah. And it's so annoying when they just bring you the sparkling without asking, especially if you're a fish. No, they have flavored water, which is usually infused with something in one of those 5 categories, right? A bitter thing, a sweet thing, a salty thing, and a umami thing. But then you're like, well, what does the animal prefer? Does it prefer the plain water or does it prefer the flavored water? But it's like, we don't know. That's like saying, hey, I made this water taste like meat. Oh, you must not like meat because you didn't drink the water. It's like, no, I just don't want meat water. You know, we have no idea if the animal just is like, that water tastes weird, or if they literally don't like the taste of meat, you know? So it's problematic to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you,
get that.
if you gave me plain water or meat water, I'm going to take the plain water, but I love meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like man, that's tricky. You know, you're not offering me a peanut butter and chocolate situation.
Right.
You know, these are not two tastes that taste great together. This is bad. One of the first things I ever did for an audio production class that I had to take in college was a commercial for Steak 2.0. And it was literally just an athlete's water with steak in it, with real bits of gristle. It's the most disgusting thing I can think of. It was just like thick water.
Right.
It was so gross.
Yeah.
And like so no. Why would you want to do that?
That's the best that science has come up with for testing what an animal likes. Is like, well, we'll make the water taste salty. Do they like salty water? No. But
if they're ocean fish, they love salt water. If they're freshwater fish, they hate salt water. This is not the science you think it is, science.
Right.
You're not sciencing the way you're supposed to.
Yeah. So here's the quote. It says, an avoidance of somewhat acidic water, i.e. sour water, might not say all that much. Maybe it's just missing something crucial that would make the sour taste be more palatable.
Yeah, like,
you know, something like, I don't know, a gummy, tiny child form, you know?
Or a gummy deed to gummy land. Or like a gummy cigar, you know? A gummy watch, like a gummy nice, like a watch that you would call a chronometer, you know?
Yeah.
Like dudes
really
would talk
nice.
about on a podcast that's just insufferable. Well, unlike this podcast, which is only mildly insufferable because we don't talk about chronometers.
But if you had to choose between this podcast and a podcast that's just plain water, ours is only slightly.
Are you calling us a sparkling podcast? Are you saying we're an effervescent podcast?
I'm trying.
I love this. I like that. I like your attitude about us. I think that's wonderful. I think it's fascinating when, look, we know that there should theoretically be a reason for everything biologically, physiologically that we do and we like. We understand that. But it's so funny to me that, like, I always love when we find one simple thing and we're just like, well, we don't know why. There's no probable reason for what, like, there's nothing survival wise why we would need this.
Yes. It's fascinating to me, not only because we have every single person listening to this has experienced the sour taste and either likes it or doesn't, and maybe sometimes does and sometimes doesn't. I love that this thing that is ubiquitous and familiar, we literally don't have any understanding of why it would be part of our physiology. But there's even another layer which says it's across all vertebrate species that we know about. So it's not even like, well, it's a weird thing in humans. It's a weird thing that is constant and should not exist if it wasn't essential. So is it essential? And if so, why is it essential? It's such a cool paradox, I think.
And if so, should I be sucking on lemons like the British Navy? Am I getting enough of the sour?
You suck a lemon, man.
I think I'm not.
If there's one thing you should take away from this conversation.
Let's go suck on a lemon.
Go suck on a lemon.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Do you enjoy exploring the deep, dark mysteries of the universe?
Would you purchase a gummy deed or stock option?
Then perhaps you would like to point your money in an even better direction, some would say. And that's at our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Have you heard an ad on this podcast lately? No.
No. And by lately, you mean in the last 14 years. I don't know how long we've been doing this.
I don't know. It's been
Ever.
83
We've never done
years.
an ad.
We've done like 2, I think. And let me tell you something. We don't need to. If you head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
You are our life's blood, dear listener. You. So take it upon yourself. Give us a shiny dollar. $1 a month is all we ask. You can give us more and you get more stuff. With $1, you get access to our cool Discord with cool folks doing cool things and talking about cool stuff.
That sounds
you
cool.
want to be part of that community. It's cool.
But as you give more, you get more, including bonus episodes, bonus audio, all kinds of wonderful, amazing things up to early episodes. You get them before anybody else. You get a little secret episodes.
We got vidges. I posted a vidya last week.
Hey,
it was so fun. Get in on that. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Speaking of videos, it's my week for videos, and you were talking about how you don't enjoy meat water. What if I told you there's something innately enjoyable about meat water, and I'm going to talk about it on an extra video this week?
Ooh, that's what we call in the business a tease.
I was going to say that's what in the business we call synergy, because it actually was submitted by Synergy Mansfield. This story about the
Synergy Mansfield
about the juice, the meat juice. But there is some other science news that I'd like to talk to you about, and it's about the brain, Jeff.
Ooh,
you know,
that's my second favorite organ.
What's your first?
I'm a heart guy. I was going to do the. You
see the way I set you up for it, just like I set you up for a Brando.
Yeah, it was good.
Look, I gotta say, I think the liver doesn't get enough due.
I think why? Because of all the hard work the liver does, and we mistreat the liver in such selfish ways.
Shocked that my liver is still with me after my youth. Yeah. Shocked after the way I treated my liver. I'm a big fan of kidneys too, for a similar reason. I just like anything that processes.
Well, my kidney, did I tell you I had a stone recently? Did we talk about that?
We did talk about it a little bit, yeah.
It was not pleasant.
No,
So, me and my kidney have a love-hate.
Sure. I think that was just your kidney letting you know to treat it better.
That's probably true.
Was it all the mineral water?
All that mineral water I've been drinking?
Yeah, it was because you drink so much mineral water, and it was sediment.
Yeah, if I can't chew my water, I don't want to drink it. You know what I'm saying? It's not crunchy. It's not going in.
I was actually told at one point to stop drinking mineral water when I was working at that Italian restaurant. I went in for a checkup, and my doctor's like, "Yo, you can't drink all that mineral water all day, every day." I was like, "That's what they do in Italy." He's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Well, that's what the Italian guys at work do." He's like, "They're gonna get kidney stones."
Dude, you do not want a kidney stone. Let me tell you from experience.
You can't tell me what I want and what I don't want. I'll get a kidney stone if I want to. This is a new study that was published in PNAS. Oh no, sorry. I'm so sorry. This was Nature Reviews Neuroscience. I always get the two mixed up.
Yeah, it's a common mistake,
I apologize to the fine people at both places. This was sent in by Greg the Cookie Crumbless.
Whoa, the cookie. Back at it.
The cookie's back.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we have been talking about is over the last couple of years, have been doing some changes to our brains. And we're all a little worried about our brains. We all feel like maybe we're a little more scatterbrained. Maybe we're a little more forgetful than we were. Maybe we just don't have it together the way we used to. Right?
Yeah. Maybe I just want to sleep all day and not get out of bed ever and not do anything for anyone. Just stay here and just keep the covers on.
Yeah. And the weird part of that is everybody else wants to too, when it used to just be me. So that's strange. But no, we think about this a lot, about forgetfulness. And I'll tell you one thing we notice. We may forget things, but we notice when we forget things, which I think is the true curse of forgetfulness.
Isn't that so true? If you just, well, I mean, I guess that's dementia, right? Is not knowing that you don't know.
Well, I think total forgetfulness, like if you totally forget something, it would be like, oh man, I know I read something about that. It would just be, hey, I want to tell you about this thing. Oh, that sounds cool. You know what I mean? Like that would be total forgetfulness as opposed to, oh, I heard something about that. What did I hear? The curse of forgetfulness is that we do know that we've forgotten.
Remember that you used to know.
Yeah. And it becomes worrying, right? Like we're just like, oh, have I always been this forgetful? Is this age? Is this stress? Well, according to this new study in Nature Reviews Neuroscience, we actually are not as forgetful as we think we are. We have not forgotten all of the things that we think we have forgotten.
Whoa. Wait a minute. So you're saying that this article is claiming that the things we think we forgot, we never knew in the first place, or we actually do know and we just don't know we know? I don't even understand what I'm saying at this point.
Yeah, you sound real dumb. Let me explain this to you. Basically, we've talked about this before. You are getting so much sensory input all the time, and it's your brain's job to filter that sensory input. You're seeing, right now you're looking at the screen, but you're also seeing things in your peripheral vision. You're seeing things all around you, and your brain is just like, nah, but what we're really looking at is the screen.
Right.
Because we have to whittle down all the information that's coming in at all times. Okay? Because there's more stimuli than we could possibly ever pay attention to. And even if we couldn't remember it accurately, even minutes later, like seconds later. We've also talked about how forgetting things is kind of a natural mechanism of the brain. Like we need to dump old information or useless information.
Yeah.
Although it seems like my brain never dumps useless information. My brain will recite the Land Before Time from beginning to end. That's stupid, brain.
That's just a misunderstanding of what's useful. That's all that is.
Thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell everyone my entire life. Sure, I forgot the responsibilities of my job, but it's very important that I can quote The Princess Bride from beginning to end. That's going to come up.
Exactly.
Don't think
Importance.
It won't. So forgetting some things is important. We need to dump them. There's only a finite space for information. And then there's a third thing that we've talked about before, but it turns out we did not understand how important this is and how much this is happening, which is the brain promotes access to specific memories. The brain keeps the most useful stuff that you need to remember in the most accessible and reachable places.
Right. Because you'll never know when you need to quote Princess Bride. So you got to keep it right there at the ready.
Yeah.
Because what if somebody walks up to you on the street and is like,
what about the what about the ROUSs?
Exactly.
And you say rodents of unusual size? I don't believe they exist.
And they're like, here's $10,000. You got that quote right.
And that person was Rob Reiner.
He does that, by the way.
He does that.
That's called getting Reinered.
You got Reinered is what they say. You might remember it it came on right after Cash Cab on Discovery for a while. And Reiner would walk around and he would ask you, all kinds of things about the Princess
Reiner
Bride
movies. And he'd come up and be like,
Archie Bunker.
Can you handle the truth? And you'll say, no, you can't handle the truth.
And he'd give you $10,000 right there.
Yeah, right there.
If only we remembered some of the science stuff we talked about as much as some of this other garbage.
Oh man, I could literally do the Nicholson speech from that movie right now for no reason.
Do it, coward. No, don't do it.
You can't handle the truth. We live in a world that's surrounded by walls. Who's going to guard those walls? You, Lieutenant Weinberg. Sorry, I don't even.
The most unbelievable thing.
You need me on that wall. Sorry.
The most unbelievable thing about that movie was Tom Cruise playing a guy named Weinberg. Me and my family were sitting in the audience and we didn't believe it for a second. So here's the thing. Your brain keeps the most important information the most accessible. We know that. We've talked about that. But Jeff, think about the flip side of that. Your brain keeps the most unimportant information the least accessible. You haven't forgotten it. That's why if you sit for a minute and you go, oh, that guy's name, that guy's name, that guy's name, your brain will eventually give it to you. You are locking...
Me less and less so, but yeah.
Yeah, but you are locking certain information deeper down because fuck that information.
Right. Yeah.
So a summary of this study, which was done by Trinity College in Dublin, says rather than being a bug, forgetting is a functional feature of the brain. It allows you to interact dynamically with your environment. Forgetting some things are beneficial.
It's optimization, right?
Optimization.
It's optimizing. Yeah. It's streamlining your knowledge base to what is most useful. But I kind of don't buy that because I think that there's an element of that. But like you said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that seemed to me immediately accessible that is not useful in my environment.
Well, one of the things that one of the natural progressions that they go to in this study, or that they talk about a little bit, is the idea of traumatic memories, avoidant memories, things like that. Things that would actually...
The time that Rob Reiner came up to you on the street and accosted you, and asking you how to quote his movies.
And I couldn't remember. It was the one time I could not remember a line from The Princess Bride.
Coming right at you at high speed and yelling.
Came right at me, that meathead.
Yelling as you wish, as loud as he can.
Yeah. He was like, tell me about green M&Ms. And I was like, fuck, when was the last time I watched Spinal Tap? Beat them to death with their own shoes? And he's like, I'll give you $5,000 for that. Because that's where the bit ends. So the idea of this is certain things that you remember that could actually be less useful to you or cause you to make worse decisions. There are parts of your brain that know that and go, let's put that away. And, that's a natural defense mechanism. Of course, things like trauma and PTSD are when that mechanism is taken too far. But this is that if you downscale it for every day, right? We think of those things in the most traumatic versions of them. But from day to day, it could be like, man, I don't remember that guy's name because I don't need to remember that guy's name. And actually, I don't like dealing with that guy. So I don't want to think about that guy.
So you're telling me that my brain doesn't think I should leave the house, so it forgot where I put the car keys.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to keep you in today.
You know what?
You have no idea where you put the car keys or your wallet for that matter.
I know exactly where the switch is. You want to play that Arceus?
I know exactly where the Tostitos pizza rolls are.
I know where the pizza rolls are, and I remember where Pokemon Arceus are. What's up? I remember where all the good are. Where do you want to go?
I need to leave the house. I need to go out and do things that are... No, but dog, you don't know where your car keys are.
Dog, you'll never find them. You'll never find them. So that's the thing, is like, if memories are gained in circumstances, this is what they say. If memories are gained in circumstances that are not wholly relevant to the current environment, forgetting them can be a positive change that improves our well-being. So you don't want the wrong stuff popping into your head at the wrong moment. So your brain is like, that doesn't matter. I mean, of course, these things still happen because your brain isn't perfect. I'll be in a stressful situation, and what'll pop into my head? I mean, maybe the lyrics to Haircut 100's Love Plus One. That weird song from the end of Seven.
Not useful.
It's not useful to sing Hungry Like the Wolf right now.
When the cop is asking for your license and registration. Not useful.
It's not useful. You shouldn't know that. You should be able to find your license and registration. So that's the idea here. They're not...
It's interesting.
Memories aren't lost. They're made inaccessible. And I think...
To optimize.
Yeah.
It is... But it doesn't feel like optimization. It feels like a bug. It feels like, hey, when I want to reach outside of the particular circumstances I'm in and recall that person from third grade that said that thing that isn't useful in this moment, but I kind of want to know right now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like I'm optimized for what I need to know right now. It feels like I'm unable to access everything that I want to access.
Well, even if you remember that guy's name from third grade, what is the usefulness? What do you get out of it? Right? Like that's why your brain puts it away, is because, yeah, there might be a random memory that you have one day and you're like, oh, I wish I could remember the name of the kid whose mom made him an ornate Ghostbusters firehouse out of cardboard because the Ghostbusters playhouse was so expensive. Thomas Perricone. His name was Tommy Perricone. I remember that. Now, but like if I couldn't remember
Tommy, if
that,
you're listening, write in.
Tommy, what up?
Go ahead.
But if I couldn't remember Tommy's name, that wouldn't be because, oh no, here I am in a moment where Tommy's name is useful and my brain's not retrieving useful information. Retrieving that memory is just useful for an anecdote or because I want to. There is no actual use for it right now. You know what I mean?
But it is useful. Like, it is useful. I mean, that's my dumb brain. Shut up, brain. It is useful.
Sure.
I want it right now. It's in there. Give it me.
Well,
give it me.
And that's what the co-authors of this study say is like, now that we know that these things are mostly locked away, or theoretically, most of these things still exist, but they're locked away, this could be reversible. If we find out the mechanisms by which this is happening and which retrieval is the easiest, we could potentially come up with a way to instantly recall information that is stuck deep in the brain.
Love that. Love that. Give that to me. I'll take that pill.
You could Bradley Cooper this shit.
I want to Bradley Cooper it so hard, you know.
And by which I mean Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, I was thinking befriending Lady Gaga and turning her into a folk megastar.
Right. Yeah. No, yours is right.
That one.
Mine was wrong.
I wonder though if that was accomplishable. If the first person who took that pill would be like, no, I get it. I understand why the brain does this. I get it. I understand. It's too much.
Well, it's funny if you talk to people, interviews with people with like eidetic memories, like the people who are like, hey, what'd you have for lunch on June 25th, 1992? They'd be like, well, June 25th, 1992, that was a Thursday. I was in school. It was a Thursday, which means it wasn't a Friday. So I didn't buy my lunch. So I had a turkey sandwich because it was a Thursday. And I remember the turkey sandwich because my mom didn't give me applesauce that day. Like there are people that can do that. Yeah. And they describe it as actually being not a nightmare, but like, because they don't know any other way to be. But they're like, yeah, I have noticed that sometimes it takes longer for me to do things, or I'm slower at stuff because I'm just sifting through so much.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I think that would be interesting if it's like your brain is optimized for this by literally taking things away from you. I wonder if we were like, oh no, brain, I want it back. Science has figured out a way to give it to me back. If we would go like, no, you know what? Evolution was right.
Oh, it's 100% a monkey paw, dude. It's a monkey's paw situation for sure. I know there's a lot of stuff. Look, I have whole swaths of things that are gone that should be gone. Do you know what I mean? It's fine that they're gone.
Yeah.
It's fine. And I think that's totally okay. Would it be neat if there was a way to like turn this up and down like a knob, like a dial?
Yeah.
You know, and just get access to a little more.
This one goes to 11.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like $10,000. There you go. That's for you.
Thank you, Mr. Reiner.
So like, but I think about this because I have anxiety. I take medication for anxiety, and I definitely remember more stuff when I take my medication because I'm not high strung all the time. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff that my brain is pushing away because I think it's worried.
I think this is also an explanation for that phenomenon that I certainly experience, and I know lots of people do, where you're like, you know, I can watch the Jeopardy on TV and I'm like, oh, I got that one. Oh, I got that one. Oh, I got that one. But if I were on the Jeopardy or at the trivia night, you know, and and the white hot spotlight's on me to answer the question, all of a sudden I come up blank because your brain is like optimizing for a completely different set of circumstances, which are like, what's my hand doing? You are under this pressure So your brain is optimizing for a completely different circumstance rather than being relaxed and just open to recalling these facts, you know?
Yeah. I crush it trivia night.
Do you?
I do.
I wish I did. I feel like I'm good at it, you know, like I said, in moments where I don't have to be. But we used to play trivia games all the time on the Totally Rad show, and I would just always be awful at it.
No.
Awful. Because I'm under pressure for some reason. I can see the person's face in my head or whatever, but I can't get the name.
You're good at, you know sports stuff, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
We should do trivia. I need a sports guy.
I'm in, dude. I mean, can we do it? I'm in Colorado.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, the next time we're in the same place, we should find a trivia night.
It'd be so much fun.
I crush at everything except for sports and geography. I'm bad at geography.
I'm pretty bad at geography as well.
Okay.
We need a geography person.
We need to get a crew together.
Yeah, like Ocean's 11 of trivia.
Yeah, like a big shot gangster putting together a crew.
Yeah, for one last job. And by job, we mean trivia night.
Hell yeah. Hey, everybody. How's your memory? How you doing?
Yeah.
Would you
want a pill that could let you recall everything all at once?
Ooh, would you limitless? I don't think I would limitless. I know there's more to limitless.
Be tempted.
I know limitless also lets him learn stuff and be smart. Like, I think there's a lot more to the limitless, but the memories part of the limitless, I don't like. I don't think I need that.
Would you just start singing and assume Lady Gaga was going to come on stage and do the duet with you?
I would. I would
really
hold out my hand and wait for Jennifer Hunger Games to take my hand and dance with me, dance our PTSD away, just like the movie Limitless. Folks, let us know what you would do, especially if you're on the Discord. There is, of course, the episode discussion channel where everybody hangs out. There was somebody posted a great. You remember we were talking last week about what the difference between an astronomer and astrophysicist is?
Yes.
Somebody posted a great graphic of one of those mobile game ads that says like level 1 and level 50.
Job level 50. I'm looking at it right now. Astronomer and then astrophysicist. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like it's like a dirty wizard, and then like level 50 is an astrophysicist, and it's like this total beautiful like robes and everything. It's very good. If you want to see stuff like that.
Freighter posted that. I just want to give credit to Freighter. Very, very cool. Freighter said, astrophysicist is an advanced class, so you can do a quest to become one after reaching job level 50 astronomer.
I love that. I love that. So that's the stuff you're missing if you're not in the Discord. Check it out. It's just $1 a month or more. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. And we'll see you next week.